Okay, I left the Sentinel on because we're going to do some more EF rating contours. And so let me show you what I have in mind. I'm going to turn off that line and the current polygon that we drew earlier. And if you recall, we can kind of use the NDVI in the warm season, that is, to mark areas of vegetation scarring, which is most certainly going to be accompanying the EF2 and greater ratings. And so we have here these points, EF3 points. We have some more EF3 points. I got EF2s up here, a few ones, but we have scarring almost continuously going on all the way up through here. So initially, I might draw an EF2 rating contour up and down this area here. Then we can fine tune later. So let's go ahead and add. And let's start off just down here on the bottom southwest end. And we'll draw the contour. And it'll be thin. I'm going to try to draw it as thin as possible to go all the way up and include this northeasternmost point. I should have left the other, or turned on the other polygons just to compare to see how well they did. Let's see what happens when I do. And I'm going to turn off the Sentinel. And we'll use the gray sky later on. But that's what I've got, at least, and see how it compares with the others. Let's go ahead and add in the event ID. For our purposes only, QC it right away. And let's do a start date, 9/01/2021. And a start time, 2035. Labeled EF2. We'll worry about the win later. We already kind of have the win bracketed by the EF rating. So let's submit that. And that's what we have. So at least at this point, I should have EF1, EF0, EF2 contours. Now, let's see what happens if we want to do some fine tuning. So let's get these polygons mostly transparent so we can see easily what we want to go ahead and adjust. And let's add now the gray sky imagery to fill in the gaps between the points, the ground points that is. And we'll start down here in the southwest end of the EF2 contour. And let's zoom in. And we start off with the EF2 here. And you noticed I got an EF3. This is EF3 rated house. It looks like we have another one here. And then we have some significant damage here. That certainly is, looks like EF2, although ground surveys didn't rate it there. But we don't see EF2 off to the northeast. And we may see some evidence of EF2 down here. It's tough. We do have an EF2 point here, so that's a ground anchor, and that's important. I'm trying to anchor my aerial imagery to what they're seeing at the ground. Also, you can see the tree damage in this general area is pretty severe, and we also have another house with significant roof damage. It could be EF2. It's kind of on the border, though. But for our purposes, we may include it. And you can see that tree damage comes all the way down, and then it kind of stops. We don't see any more severe tree damage, and certainly no housing damage. So the EF2 contour probably has to be retracted to the northeast a little bit. Okay, so why don't we zoom out a little bit and just do that right in these spots. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. The selection really makes things kind of opaque here, so we just have to deal with that. And then, of course, selecting edit mode really makes me zoom out again, so I have to bring this back down, and in this area retract the EF contours to something like that. So hopefully that should be sufficient. We'll double click just to confirm and get out of edit mode, and this is what I see right now. Is I've just pulled in enough just to include this EF2 point and then everything in between. Now this is a little bit liberal here. These houses, not all of them are EF2 damage. So there's a choice to be made. And I think right now the choice is I'll probably constrain the thickness of the EF2 to really get it narrow throughout this time frame. So these houses didn't get hit. But the interesting thing is there's substantial tree damage here, at least EF1. We'll keep that. But no EF2, at least not something significant. So what I might do here, I don't think I see any EF2 damage here beyond these points. So I'm going to retract this polygon all the way up to get to the point where there may be significant damage right here, EF2. I don't see anything that's... Well, actually, that's substantial tree damage. That's worthy of EF2. Large number of trees, large percentage. So I may include that, and then maybe stop it here. Okay, so I might retract that one contour off to the northeast and really constrain it. So that's what I will do in this case. Okay, so I got in edit mode, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to delete these vertices down here by double clicking, or right clicking if you will, and then bring this EF2 up to this point here. And I might take one of these intermediate vertices and drag it down so that it kind of rounds it out a little bit. And we'll double click there. And we confirm, and we should be out. There we go. So I think I'll go ahead and isolate a new EF2 polygon in this neighborhood here. Okay, so that would make sense. So I'm going to add a polygon here and take and create an EF2 contour that roughly covers these EF2 points and some of that tree damage. So again, here we go, and I'll add this here and come back later on, and you'll see it complete. Alright, so I just added the EF2 in this spot. Let's zoom in. We can always refine, though I think I got it covered pretty well where I want it. And as you can see up to the northeast, the EF2 cannot be supported by these houses, so it terminates there pretty well. And then off to the southwest, does it extend into these trees? Well, it could, although, yeah, I mean, this is pretty severe EF1 damage. These trees seem to support pretty close to that as well. I think I might as well just keep the EF2 down into the woods a little bit. I probably could extend it a little bit more, but right now I'll just leave it as such. Here I might retract a little bit. I know we have an EF2 point here, which looks like I might want to keep the EF2 contour wrapped around it. So maybe I'll leave that there and then see how it goes. But otherwise, it looks pretty good. So I will leave it there.